Manchester United app and the embargoed section from 10:30 Saturday night. But Ruben, I want to ask first about your international window and what you were doing and how busy that was.
It was really good. I watched the games again. I tried to watch the last games against City. I tried to imagine different positions for the players, especially when you have some injuries. You have to prepare the future to be comfortable in any situation. So it was a normal break, enjoying the weekend with the kids, bring the kids to the school, but always thinking about the Manchester United.
And it's always a nervy time for managers to wait for their players to return after international duty. So how has everybody reported back, and what are things looking like as we prepare to face City at the Etihad on Sunday?
Diogo Dalot is the only problem. The rest of the guys return really well. But then you have that urgency to put the players in the right mindset. It's going to be a tough match. But we are playing so much better, and that gives us confidence to win games. So we are prepared for that.
There were some really interesting reports and articles about the way your team's performing and how the underlying statistics prove you're playing a hell of a lot better than perhaps some of the results have suggested over the 10 Premier League games last. So is that encouraging going forward? Does that show we're going on the right direction?
Yeah, that is important also to show the players. But we also connect that data to the image. And I think we could play quite better against Fulham. We should be on the cup, and we show that today to the players to return also to that mindset that we have a lot to do, and we know how important is this game for our fans. So, of course, we used all this data to say to the players that we are improving, but you need to score goals, and I think we had that problem in these first games.
Yeah, you're right to mention the fans. Actually, as a fan, we always look at when we're going to play City, home and away. Huge game for the fans, and unusually we go in, and usually of late we're going above them in the table. What do you make of how City are playing right now, and what challenges they do possess to offer your team at the weekend?
First of all, our goal is to have that feeling that when we want to play against City, have the same feeling when we play against Grimsby. That is our goal, to play every game from our team with the same mindset. So it's just one more game, really important, but it should be a game against City every week. I think City has that way of playing with a lot of possession. They change a lot the way they build up, and that is a problem to press. But we focus a lot on our team. We have a way of defending that we can adapt to different systems, and we need to have the ball also. That is really important because we play with the ball, and we show that in the last game. So we cannot face City thinking about just in transitions or trying to steal the ball. No, we can have the ball, and we'll try to do that.
Well, you've got a really busy day as ever as the Man United head coach, so we'll let you go. But as fans, we're all really excited for it and wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, boss. Thank you.
Sometimes, first of all, most of the times you have several options. One more for the present, one for the present and the future, and then you try to get the right guy. What is possible, what is not possible, what is best for our moment as a club, and we did that. And Lemons is a young guy with a lot of potential, but he's ready also if we need another goalkeeper. Andre Onana, I think he showed in Inter that he's a top goalkeeper, but sometimes things are not working in some environments, some moments, and I think we as a club and also Andre felt that is a moment to do a little change. We don't know the future, but it was time to change.
When was that decision made? Because at the start of the summer, at the start of the pre-season, it sounded like the club wasn't looking for a new goalkeeper. So when was that decision made? Maybe who made it? Was that your call?
We do everything together. We are not going to do anything the other part. When I say other part, there is the manager, there is the sport director, there is the board that you have to convince, the CEO. So we try to do everything together. It's hard to talk about in football, to talk when we did that decision. We have a plan.
and everybody knew that we want to address, especially in front, to score goals. And then we have different options, and we try to imagine the rest of the season, the moment of the players. We are talking with the players every day. We are assessing the market, so we knew that there was a lot of clubs after Lemons, and we have to project the future of the club, and that decision brought us Lemons.
So sometimes, like, how does that sort of decision happen? Was there a moment maybe where your mind was changed?
No, it's not. It's not about the mind. Of course, if you ask any manager, you ask me a lot of questions today. In the next week, the answers would be different. Not the path, but the way to get the same destination is going to be different. And then you have to look at the performance, the moment, and you saw the last game. It's not about the last game of André, but
So it wasn't like you watched the Grimsby game and thought, right, that's it.
You can feel the environment, the fans, the social media, the club. We had some moments like this, and we felt that it was a good moment to make a change in that position. And then we look at the young talent like Lemons, and we went for it.
So who's the next Van der Sar? Who's the next?
That's this week. I hope to see Altai doing well like Van der Sar, and then in the future they have to fight for the place. And I think we as a team can help the goalkeepers also to be better. We are doing that, I think, because we are being more dominant. There is no like a lot of opportunities from the opponents, and we are struggling in some moments like set pieces, like throw wins, and we can do better to help our goalkeepers.
There really is. Right, let's focus on the City half of things for the Manchester Derby live in the second part of Super Sunday tomorrow. We've talked United. Merce, let's talk about City there. And there's a point made by Erling Haaland towards the end of the interview. It's a massive game for them, not just because it's a United Derby, but if Liverpool, as we might expect, go to Turf Moor in the early kick-off tomorrow on Super Sunday and pick up 3 points, before they've even kicked a ball tomorrow, City are 9 points behind the champions. They can't be that far behind at this stage of the season. It's a must-win for them, isn't it, tomorrow?
Oh, absolute must-win. Absolute must-win. I don't put them in the equation anyway, if I'm being honest. I don't. I think there's a little bit of a rebuild to do. You know, you're missing one of the greatest players ever to play in the Premier League in Kevin De Bruyne. You know, Silva's another year older.
And he was still doing the business for Belgium midweek.
He's a proper player. But, you know, that's only going to domino effect on Haaland. Do you know what I mean? Haaland's not going to get as many chances. I was disappointed last week. They were comfortable, and then all of a sudden, Brighton bring on a few subs, change it up, and they just steamrolled them. And I think this is a big football match. I think for Pep Guardiola as well. I think, you know, he'll be looking at this if this don't go well tomorrow, thinking, is it work? You know, it's going to be a hard season, in my opinion. I think, you know, I just look here for everything they've done. We talk about Man City like Man City 4 and 5 years ago. Teams don't go to the Etihad anymore and get their stomachs tickled.
Well, that's a really good point, Clinton, isn't it? Because it feels like with this City side, when you look particularly the last couple of games, we may have got a little bit carried away with that 4-0 win against Wolves, because Wolves have been very poor so far this season. But that aura that they had when they were winning everything, they were winning the Premier League time after time after time. Some teams were beaten before they'd even exited the tunnel. That's gone, isn't it, that aura? Yeah,
of course it has, because they concede too many goals and they've not strengthened in the defensive areas, and that's their biggest issue. They talk about Rodri, and Rodri come out after the Brighton game and said, I'm not Messi, not a one-man team. You can't just think I'm going to come back and be back to my best straight away. And he's spot on. He is so important to them, but it's going to take him a bit of time to get back up to speed. He's had a big injury. But I've always said it, in the fullback areas, they didn't strengthen. They lost Carl Walker, didn't really bring anyone in. And then they're looking in the defensive areas as well. Now they've lost to Kanji. I know they've got injuries, but they're so vulnerable. When they're dominating possession, they're open to counter-attacks at the moment. And that's what Brighton did. Mercy's right. They dominated, but can they go and get the second goal? They didn't get the second goal, and they got counter-attacked, and they end up losing the game. The fascinating thing tomorrow as well, Tim, is going to be the goalkeeper. And for both sides, actually. We didn't get a chance to talk about Bayindir, who is going to start for United tomorrow. But Edison has gone, 6 Premier League titles, a Champions League in his 8 years at the club. Before we talk about who plays between the sticks tomorrow, how much did he change goalkeeping in this country, Edison?
An awful lot, but it's down to the coacher and the manager setting out the structure, wanting to play out. I just think that he plays that ball better than anyone. When they do put the squeeze on, he goes over the top. There's
8
nothing
Premier
wrong
League
with that.
assists in those 8 years.
Fantastic, but he doesn't just kick it forward like a big looping thing. Look at the trajectory of the passing. It gets there. You can time it. You can assess where it's going to bounce as a striker. Amazing. Just pings it. I mean, he's one of the best passers in the league, wasn't he? I mean, without doubt, long passer. Fantastic. Sometimes decision-making, like all goalkeepers, when they pass it short, it's decision-making. It's not a technique. But look at a bump there from the goal pick. I mean, we interviewed him there. They have always got a chance when you've got someone like him, Erling Haaland, in your side. I agree with Merce. I just think it's a total rebuild there. I'm not sure Pep's going to be there to see the best of some of them players, but I'm just waiting for it to click. We thought it was the first game of the season, but it was obviously against Wolves. I think it will be a matter of time before they click. I think the worry for a lot of teams, they would go to the Etihad and think, you know what, it's not the City of old here. We can open up, we can have a go, and they will come unstuck. And I think it might be tomorrow.
So who ends up being number one this season then, Merce? Because James Trafford bought in from Burnley for £27 million, but now in comes Donnarumma. We know he is a sensational shot stopper, but he is in no way an Edison in terms of what he can do with his feet. So long term this season, who is going to be Guardiola's number one?
That $1 million question, because as you say, they like to play out. They like to bring people on.
And Donnarumma changes that, doesn't he?
Yeah, he hasn't got that in his locker, but he's a great shot stopper. For me, I'm one of them. Stop goals going in. Yeah. Goalkeeper's job. You stop the goals going in. I'll find the people that can pass the ball. If he does, he's got a great outlet in Haaland. 6'4", 6'5", how tall he is. He's a unit.
Yeah.
Put it up to him. He'll be able to hold it and get runners around. I think teams are just suffocating Man City now. We see it. We see it time after time now. They're going after them. And I know what Tim's saying. They will go and beat someone 5 or 6 during the season. But I don't see it on a consistent basis. I've sat on here many and many a time and watched Man City, and teams are happy as Larry to come away losing 3 or 4. 3 or 4. That ain't it anymore.
You know what, Si? How do you feel if you're Trafford, though? You've gone into the football club. You think you're going to be number one because you know Edison's probably leaving. So you're probably thinking, I'm going, or I could have stayed at Burnley. I know you're going to a huge club in Man City, but you're playing week in, week out at Burnley, getting into the England squad. And now you've brought in Donnarumma. And first
well,
and
we'll be
foremost,
hoping Donnarumma's feet cause a problem.
It doesn't matter about feet, because first and foremost, as a goalkeeper, you're judged to save. I want my goalie to save. Everyone forgets PSG were fantastic last season, won the Champions League. He had a massive part to play in it, in the group stages and the knockout stages. He made big saves. So if he's coming into that football club, he's coming into Man City not to be a number 2, to be a number 1. He could have been a number 2 at PSG. He's coming in to be a number 1. So you kind of feel a bit it's going to be a bit hard for James Trafford, but I think Donnarumma's going to go and be
currently in
number 1.
4 competitions, so he's surely going to get chances.
Yeah, he'll get chances, but Donnarumma's going to want to be the number 1 and play in every game, because that's what goalkeepers want to do. You're not working hard as a goalie. You basically just have to stop it and play 5-yard passes, don't you? You're not running around like players used to.
Ruben Amorim insisted he will read nothing into Manchester City's poor start to the season as he prepares his United side for Sunday's derby. For all the scrutiny there has been on United's start, which has yielded 4 points from a late win over Burnley, a draw at Fulham and defeat at home to Arsenal, they go into Sunday 1 point better off than City, who have suffered back-to-back defeats against Tottenham and Brighton. It is the first time since December 2020 that United will start a derby above City in the Premier League table, even if it is only 3 matches into the season, but Amorim said the challenge of facing Pep Guardiola's side was as hard as ever. But we are prepared for that and we believe in our team, and I have that feeling, so it will be a very good game. We know what to do. We have 1 more training session. The table, in the moment, it doesn't matter. I'm just worried about maintaining the same principles, the way we fight for every ball, the small details that sometimes we drop a little bit. But not in these games. So I'm more comfortable in these kind of games. But we will be ready against a very, very good team. United went into last week's international break on the back of a 3-2 win over Burnley, secured through Bruno Fernandes' penalty 7 minutes into stoppage time. That was much needed after their shock Carabao Cup exit at the hands of League Two Grimsby, a result which prompted Amorim to say he would use the international break to take stock of his United team and seek fixes to their problems. I did everything, Amorim said when asked how he had used the break. I watched a lot of games. I tried to understand different things. I talked to Jason Wilcox, Director of Football. I talked to Omar Barada, Chief Executive. I tried to anticipate scenarios. We had the market closing in this break. I tried to do everything in this kind of break to prepare for the future. Sunday's match will see Amorim come up against his former Director of Football Hugo Viana. The pair were hugely successful working in tandem at Sporting Lisbon, winning 2 league titles and 2 League Cup titles together. But they are now on opposite sides of the same city, with Viana succeeding Tsiki Begiristin as City's Director of Football this summer. It has no influence, Amorim said of their friendship going into the derby. We have different jobs, we have different clubs. We have dinner all the time but we don't talk about football. I'm red, Hes blue. But we are really, really close friends. That will not change. I hope to win on Sunday and that's it.